All right, welcome. Morning. Glad to be here for this all levels flow class. If you're taking this live or on YouTube. And apologies for the camera orientation. My phone is wanting to only work this way today, so a little bit more depth between my mat and the screen. No particular props, but if you're brand new to yoga, blocks can be helpful to have handy. And we will begin today in a comfortable seat. That can be either legs crossed. If you have half lotus, drawing one heel to the opposite hip, or any other comfortable seat in which you can ground down through the hips. Take a moment to settle in here in your seat. Let the shoulders soften down and away from the ears. And then begin to lightly engage your back body and abdominal muscles, just enough to sit tall, shoulders stacked over hips. If you have the legs crossed, you can rest the hands on the knees. If you haven't already, close the eyes, close the mouth, and begin to inhale and exhale through the nose. Spending a few moments this way with each successive breath cycle, lengthening the pace of your breath. Start to feel that inner heat ignite right behind the navel, just through conscious breath movement. As you breathe this way, option to engage the back of your throat for your Ujjayi pranayama. Lightly constricting those muscles in the throat, making your breath audible, but keeping the mouth closed down. With time, we're striving to use our Ujjayi breath control every time we come to our mats. Good. Take a couple more breath cycles like this. Settle into your pace of breath for the practice today. With your next inhale, bring palms to heart. Find Anjali Mudra, thumbs to heart, heart to thumbs. We'll open our practice with one round of Om. You're welcome to join in at any pitch or simply listen. Preparing to inhale to Om. Close the mouth back down, open the eyes. We'll begin to connect breath and movement. If they're not already, cross the legs, rest the hands on the knees without pressing down on the knees. Start to take big circles in one direction with the torso and head. As you find these circles, keep the hips rooted. Starting to tap into that rhythm where breath comes first and movement follows. Good, next time you come forward, switch the direction. Big, wide circles, opposite way. Next time you come forward, reach your hands forward, find a forward fold, tent up on your 10 fingertips, and then draw the chin to the chest. Let the upper and middle back open and round. Feel that space between the shoulder blades expand with the breath. To go a bit deeper, you can walk the fingertips forward as you sit the hips back, feeling a stretch through the outer lower ribs. And breathe. One more breath cycle here in our Sukhasana fold. Next inhale, walk your hands back in, sit tall, and then switch the cross of your legs, opposite leg in front or on top. Moving toward a twist. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, twist right. Right hand behind, left hand outside your right leg. Sitting nice and tall here, maybe gaze starts to turn over the right shoulder. Finding some duality here in the physical body, spine and torso lengthening upward, hips, pelvis grounding down. Couple deep belly breaths here. If you're ready to go deeper, you can wrap the right hand behind the back, work your fingers to the outer left hip. Next, inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, twist left, left hand behind, right hand outside your left leg. Once more, sitting nice and tall, crown of the head lengthening toward the sky. If you have the space, option to find that arm wrap. This time, left hand wrapping toward the outer right hip as your gaze shifts further over the left shoulder. Good, really nice upright spines there. And breathe. Next, inhale, arms forward and up. Bend the elbows, prana mudra, seated back bend. Start to actively squeeze both shoulder blades together. Notice if the knees wanted to lift, let the hip flexors relax. Maybe gaze turns all the way up, releasing the neck back. One more breath cycle here. And inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, roll over to hands and knees. Meet me in tabletop pose. If you like extra cushioning under the knees, you can roll your mat up or slide a blanket underneath. And then press down through both hands, flatten the fingers and palms to the mat. Tuck your 10 toes behind you, gaze at the floor. Next, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, Marjarasana. Exhale, chin to chest, tuck and round, Vinyasa. Moving through cow-cats like this. You're welcome to linger anywhere that feels good along the spine. And if you're brand new to yoga, this is a great alternative to Vinyasa flows, a great shape to revisit, to catch your breath, refocus the mind. After your next exhale, meet me in tabletop, engage the whole body, press the floor away, look between the thumbs. Inhale, send the right leg back. Holding here. In a moment, we'll take some crunches. You can stay here or reach the left arm forward as well, adding some challenge to our crunches. Next, inhale, push the right foot back. Exhale, crunch, elbow toward nose or knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Two more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. This time, inhale, extend. Release to tabletop. Toes tucked, send your hips up and back. Our first down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Resist that urge to walk your hands back or your feet forward. Find your long shape here. Palms at the top of the mat, shoulder distance apart. It's okay if the heels are hovering high, energetically sink them toward the mat, or maybe the feet fully plant, big toes touching, heels apart. Take a couple breaths here, noticing what it feels like to come back to this shape today. And from down dog, inhale, roll forward to plank, lower the knees, walk your knees back under the hips. Setting up for tabletop, we'll take that crunch work on the second side. Next, inhale, send the left leg straight back. Engage the left foot. Crown of the head reaches forward. Stay here, reach the right arm forward too before we move. Deep inhale for length. Exhale, crunch, draw it in. Inhale, extend. Good. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. 2 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Once more. Inhale, extend. Release. Send your knees wide, big toes touch. Press your hips back. Wide-legged child's pose, Balasana. This is one of our resting shapes in yoga. Let the forehead relax to the mat. If the forehead doesn't comfortably reach the mat, you can slide a block or pillow underneath. Working to let the face soften here as you create some length through the lower back. To go a bit deeper, option to walk the hands forward, tense up on the fingertips as you press the hips back. If you lost that rhythmic Ujjayi breath, re-engage it here. And now you can come back to this shape anytime you need in our practice. Press down through the palms. With an inhale, press up to hands and knees. Keep your big toes touching, knees apart. Next, inhale, chest forward, lift the feet, point the toes toward the back of the head. So we're in a little gentle back bend here, palms planting down. Option to lift the gaze up, keep pressing the palms down. Good. Maybe drawing feet just a bit closer toward the body. And one more inhale. Exhale back to child's pose, just a breath. This time, inhale to hands and knees, tuck your toes. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find your long down dog shape, or always the option to take tabletop instead. Whether you're in down dog or tabletop, flattening palms to the mat. Press toward the inner edges of the thumbs, inner edges of the pinkies to help draw the weight out of the wrists. From down dog, inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, lower knees, lower chest, lower chin. Keep your toes tucked, buttock stays lifted. Ashtanga Namaskar. Gaze comes forward. And it's okay if your chin's not fully on the mat. If your chin is on the mat, gaze pulls all the way forward as you draw the shoulders down and back. Maybe forearms come fully to the mat as well. And breathe. This is our back bend variation in classical sun salutes, classical Surya Namaskar. Next, inhale, slide to the belly. Hover palms and knees. Keep your toes tucked. Classical cobra. Begin to lift the chest off the mat with each inhale as the hands hover. Good. And then pull the elbows back. Gaze stays at the floor here. One more inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, press through knees or plank. Back to down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, come high on the tiptoes. Start to tiptoe toward the hands as slowly as you can. As you tiptoe, keep the hips stationary. And it's okay if you need to lift the palms at any point. Keep tiptoeing all the way to the top of the mat. We'll meet in Uttanasana, forward fold. Catch the opposite elbows with the hands. Spread the toes, press the toes to the mat. And then with elbows to palms, begin to sway left and right. Notice if you're holding tension in the back of the neck, let it release. To go a bit deeper, you can shift the weight forward more to the toes, straightening the legs. using those rib cage muscles to help your balance here. Find stillness in your forward fold and release the arms toward the mat. Next, inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold again like this. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold once more. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold. Next, inhale, arms out and up. Palms touch, come to standing. Exhale, release the arms, Tadasana. Our first time standing today, set up your strong foundation, pressing down through the feet. This pose, Tadasana, named for being strong and stationary on the outside, soft and calm on the inside. Preparing for classical Surya Namaskar, classical sun salutes on the breath. Inhale, palms to heart center. Exhale, shoulders back. Inhale, arms forward, then up. Exhale, forward, then fold. Right foot back. Inhale, lower right knee. Exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Option to lower knees. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, slide forward. Hover palms and knees. Exhale, press back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot steps forward. Inhale, lower right knee. Exhale, step up and fold. Inhale to rise, reach arms forward, then up. Exhale, heart, second side. Inhale, arms forward, then up. Exhale, forward and fold. Left foot back. Inhale, lower left knee. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale for plank, Phalakasana. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, press back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right foot forward. Inhale, lower left knee. Exhale, step up and fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heart. One more full round. Inhale to rise. Exhale, fold. Right foot back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, forward on the toes. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, slide forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot forward. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, step up, Uttanasana. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heart. Last side. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Left foot back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, forward. Phalakasana. Exhale, lower. Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, forward. Bhujangasana. Exhale, back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right foot forward. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Inhale to rise. Exhale, heart. And release the arms. Back to Tadasana, mountain pose, top of the mat. Check in with your feet. Big toes turning in, whether feet are together or hips distance apart. Feel those outer hips engage and then reach the fingers down. Close the eyes or look softly at the nose. Turn your gaze inward. 3 steady breath cycles here through the nose. And then open the eyes, bring both hands to the hips. Setting up for standing back bends here. Start to work your thumbs behind the lower back. Press firmly through the feet. As we move into our back bend, this might be really subtle. Your back might just move an inch or two. Take an inhale, press the hips forward. Exhale, draw the elbows together, extend the spine, and then maybe gaze turns up. Keep your hands on the lower back for this round. Good. Very similar to camel pose here, but works in a standing shape. If it feels okay, option to release the neck back. Keep your toes on the mat. Notice if they want to lift. Good. Draw the chin to the chest. Inhale, stand straight up. Exhale, release the arms. 1 breath cycle into Tadasana before we take another round. Good, this time inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, push the hips forward any amount. Start to lift the gaze up. Reach your arms upward first, then back overhead. Find your edge. Again, this might be subtle. Standing crescent moon. Good. Press those toes to the mat. Before rising, draw the chin to the chest. Inhale, stand straight up. This time, exhale, fold forward, release. Bring your feet hips distance apart or wider. And start to sway gently left and right. As you sway, invite some space back into your lower back. Let the neck relax. Come through center, find stillness in your fold. Bring your feet closer together if you like. Either way, big toes touching. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, step it back. Downward facing dog. Meeting here, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From down dog, inhale to plank, option to lower knees. Exhale, lower to the belly, hugging elbows to ribs. Untuck your toes. Inhale, modern cobra, lift the chest. Exhale, press back. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 5 breath cycles here. Remembering you can find tabletop or child's pose instead. So even though we're striving to breathe with the mouth closed down, it's always okay to open the mouth for an exhale or two. Catch your breath, then re-engage that slow, steady pace. From down dog, adding on. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, plank, crunch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Once more. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step it through for low lunge. Lower your back knee. Bring that front knee over ankle. And then rise up. Reach the arms high. Pinky fingers rotate inward here. Good. Strongly press the inner edge of that front foot to the mat. Stay here or untuck your back toes. Toes pointing back, top of the foot to the mat. To move toward a back bend, palms together, lift the gaze up. Just as we did in our standing back bend, reach the arms up first, then move them back overhead. Support the lower back. Really beautiful extension through the arms. Anjaneyasana. Deep inhale here. Exhale, palms to heart center. And then open both arms wide, palms facing forward. We'll find some twisting movements on the breath. Inhale here. Exhale, twist right, right arm back. Inhale for center, arms wide. Exhale, twist left, left arm back. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. This time, inhale, center. Release your right arm behind your left leg. Send your left arm high, exalted lunge. So maybe that right hand touches your left quad. Maybe your hand slides all the way towards your left calf. Find your edge, keep lifting up and out of the lower back. Strongly pressing through the front big toe here will help with balance. Beautiful. And inhale, both arms high. Exhale, plant the hands, pop up on your back toes, runner's lunge, and take a few rocking motions forward and back. Release. And then find stillness, step it back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stay here or take a flow with me on the breath. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga or the belly. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deep inhale here. Exhale, lower to hands and knees. Come to tabletop. Setting up for melting heart, Anahatasana. Strongly tuck all 10 toes. Keep your hips right over your knees. And then begin to walk both hands forward, shoulder distance apart. Maybe you slide a prop under the forehead, or maybe the forehead comes all the way to the mat. If you feel any pinching in the lower back, draw the navel toward the spine. Keep the belly active here as the back bends. And if you're not already in a deeper variation, the option to lower fully to chest and chin. Gaze comes forward of your mat, looking right between that space between the thumbs. If chest and chin are comfortably on the mat, option to tent up on the finger pads. Draw your shoulders down and back. We'll spend a few moments here in melting heart. It's a really nice way to notice that engagement through the back if you're interested in exploring more complex back bends in your practice. If you lift it up to fingertips, plant the palms. With an inhale, walk the hands back in, back to tabletop. And we'll move through a flow here between tabletop, child's pose, and down dog. Deep inhale in tabletop, untuck your toes. Exhale, hips back, balasana. Inhale, press up to hands and knees, tuck your toes. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward, back to hands and knees. Exhale, balasana, child's pose. Inhale, press up, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog, meet me here. 2 or 3 slow, steady breaths before we take that all on the second side. From down dog, inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, crunch. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, crunch, drop the butt. Good. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step between the hands for low lunge. Back knee lowers. Rise up, reach both arms high. Make sure that front knee is over the ankle. And then starting with back toes tucked, reach through the fingers, draw the shoulders back and down. Ideally moving toward the variation you took on the first side. Stay here or untuck your back toes, toes pointing back, top of the foot to the mat. Stay here, bring palms together, move toward a back bend. And again, if you're feeling that pinching or collapsing in the lower back, work to engage the back body, core muscles, lift up and out. Anjaneyasana. To go a bit deeper, you can always slide your front foot forward. Deep opening through that right hip flexor. And breathe. One more inhale here. Exhale, palms to heart center. And then open your arms wide. Palms facing forward, lightly squeeze shoulder blades together. As we twist, keep your torso upright. Deep inhale. Exhale, twist left, left arm back. Inhale through center, palms forward. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, prana mudra. Bend the elbows, find your cactus arms. Maybe a slight back bend, maybe you're ready to go deeper. Maybe gaze turns all the way up to the sky. And inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, hop up on your back toes, runner's lunge, and then rock forward and back a few times. Let your lower back relax. Good, from here, find stillness, step it back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're all moving toward child's pose in a moment. Option to take a flow first on your breath. Choose what you need. Eventually, moving all the way to child's pose. Finding rest. As you find child's pose, option to make it restorative, fully relaxing. Or once more, you can tense up on the fingertips, walk the fingers forward as you press the hips back. If the forehead is on a block or the mat, roll the forehead back and forth, massaging that space between and behind the eyebrows, third eye center. With an inhale, press up to hands and knees. Make your way back to down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From down dog, inhale, gaze forward, come high on the toes. Step or float to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms out and up, palms touch. Exhale, release. Bring both hands to the hips. Press down through your right foot. Take an inhale, step the left foot back. Turn to face the long edge of your mat. Good. Big toes slightly turned in. Adjust the distance between your feet. And then either hands stay on the hips or interlace hands behind the back if you have the space. If you do interlace hands, we're working to bring heels of the hands together. Inner triceps together, drawing palms between the glutes, preparing for a forward fold. Deep inhale here. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Keep whatever arm shape you have, hands to hips or arms overhead. If you do have that mudra, palms touching, lift the palms up first. With an exhale, draw them up and overhead. Imagining those palms releasing toward the ground in front of your mat. Good. Explore drawing the weight toward the toes here. You can always keep a micro bend in the knees, or maybe you're ready to straighten the legs fully. Notice if you're clenching the jaw, holding the muscles in the face. Let them relax. Next, inhale, half lift. Exhale, release the arms. Come all the way to your forward fold. We'll find some side lunges here. We'll continue to face the long edge of the mat. Inhale, half lift, bend the left knee. Exhale, walk your hands toward the left, gaze pulls forward. Inhale, walk through center, straighten the left knee. Exhale, bend right knee, hands walk to the right. Continue this way on your breath, back and forth. If you're feeling pretty stable and strong, option for palms at heart center here. As you move side to side, this will intensify the engagement in the hips and legs. Slow and steady to build strength. Really nice, fluid movements. The next time you bend the left knee, stay here. Sit your weight back to the left. Again, hands can be on the mat or palms at heart center. Either way, pull your gaze forward and breathe. Good, keep your hands where they are. Inhale through center, bend the right knee. Exhale, holding here, right side lunge. Sit the hips back to the right. And then pull your gaze forward and up. One more inhale. Hands to the top of the mat. Bring your front foot. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. In down dog, take some big pedals through the heels. Bending one knee and then the other. Pressing the mat away with the palms. And breathe. Inhaling through the nose. Hold a pause. Exhaling through the nose. Hold a pause. Find stillness in your down dog. Stay here or flow with me on the breath. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a bend in the knees. Walk your hands back toward the feet. Forward fold the back of the mat. And then bring your feet hips distance or wider apart. Big toes still slightly turned in. Send your right arm toward the mat. If your right palm plants between the feet, plant it there. And if your right arm is hovering, that's just okay too. Either way, inhale, sweep the left arm high for a twist. Hold here. Whether that right palm is planted or not, long line between arms. Equal weight through the feet. And then check in with the hips. If the hips shifted in the twist, square your hips, pointing them toward the top of the mat, twisting from the lower back. Option to find that arm bind, left arm wrapping behind the back, fingers towards your outer right hip. Nice. And inhale, left arm high. Exhale, replace your right hand with the left. So either planting your left palm between the feet or letting that left arm hover wherever it does. Next, inhale, sweep the right arm high and hold right here. Once more, hips stay squared, twisting through the back. To get a bit more depth, you can squeeze your shoulder blades together, feeling those trapezius muscles draw down the back as the chest opens. If you took it on the first side, option for that bind, right fingers toward the outer left hip, gaze turning up to the right. And inhale, right arm high. Exhale, release. Walk your feet closer together. Take a bend in the knees. Let the head and shoulders hang heavy. Inhale, roll all the way to stand. Exhale, shoulders back and down. Tadasana, mountain pose at the back of the mat. Close down the eyes or look toward the nose. Press down through the feet. Take 3 steady Ujjayi breath cycles here through the nose. At the bottom of your next exhale, open the eyes. And from the back of the mat, inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands forward to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From down dog, inhale, roll forward to plank. Lower the knees to the mat. Walk the hands in. Come to stand up on the knees. Setting up for camel pose, a back bend. Start by tucking all 10 toes firmly behind you. Hands to the hips to start, even if you have a deeper variation. And then take a look down, shoulders over hips, hips over knees. Start to work your thumbs, elbows, and shoulders together behind the back. Deep inhale here. Exhale, hips forward, extend the spine up and then back. This might be subtle, or maybe you're ready for a deep back bend, reaching hands for the heels. If you're comfortable with hands on heels, option to untuck the toes, tops of both feet to the mat, toes pointing back. And you'll know you've hit your edge if your hips start to shift back behind your knees in space. Even as the back arches here, draw the navel toward the spine, support the lower back. We'll be here a few rounds of breath. If you need to come out, draw the chin to the chest first and sit straight up. If the hands are comfortably on the heels, option to inhale, right arm up and overhead. Hold for a breath here. Beautiful, then release that right hand back to the heel. Option to inhale, left arm up and overhead. Reach back. Hold for a breath. And release, left hand to the heel. We'll all draw the chin to the chest, tuck the toes. Next inhale, sit straight up, hands to hips. Untuck your toes, sit back on the hips here. Rest one palm on top of the other. Always important to find a nice neutral spine first, after our back bend, before we fold forward. With an inhale, reach both arms high. On the exhale, fold forward with arms forward. Press the hips back. So child's pose with legs together here, but arms reaching forward. Use the traction of your palms on the ground to press the hips back. In your mind, imagine your breath traveling to the lower back, creating more space between your lower vertebrae. Next inhale, press up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Meet me in our last down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Enjoy that new length you've created through your physical self. As you send the heels toward the mat, press the hips back in space. Sway the neck left and right, up and down. And take one more inhale, lower to the knees, this time coming all the way to a seat. As you find your seat, we'll open the legs up nice and wide. for Upavishta Konasana. You can use the hands to pull the flesh out from under the sits bones. Find your nice tall seat. For less intensity, bring your legs closer together. For a deeper split shape, use your hands to press your inner thighs back. Find your edge today and then press the heels to the mat. Strongly flex your toes toward the body. Good. The reason we flex our toes in shapes like this is to support all those ligaments and tendons around the knee. Torso lengthening upward, hips pressing down. Next, inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, hinge halfway, reach the arms forward. Inhale, reach the arms high. On the exhale, bend the elbows, prana mudra. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, reach forward, halfway. Inhale to lift. Exhale, prana mudra. Inhale to lift. This time, exhale and fold, folding all the way forward. You can either let the hands or arms relax or keep this active, tenting up on the fingertips. And it's okay if the back is rounded here. With time, we're working to flatten and lengthen the back as we work our chest and chin toward the ground, hands walking forward. And as the arms reach forward, check in with the tops of your shoulders. If they lifted up to the ears, with an exhale, relax them down. It can feel nice to run the tongue between the lips and the teeth, reminding your jaw to soften. If you have the space, option to catch the big toes with the first two fingers, tap it with the thumb, and then gaze and chest pull forward, shoulder blades back and down. Good. We're warming up our body here to go a bit deeper into turtle pose. If this is feeling pretty intense, this is a great place to stay for today. To move toward turtle, plant the palms in front of you, just enough so that you can bend the knees, slide up on the heels. Toes are still flexed here. If you're moving toward turtle, Kurmasana, begin to slide right hand under the right leg, fingers toward the right. Left hand under the left leg, fingers toward the left. Good. Maybe you stay right here. If this feels intense, you can use your arms to press your inner thighs back. To go deeper into our tortoise or turtle shape here, sliding the heels forward, sliding arms further to right and left. Maybe your chest comes all the way to the mat. No push or force. In this shape, we're working eventually to have legs fully straight, arms fully straight, chest and chin fully on the mat. Use those exhales to gently deepen. It might be subtle, deepening just 1/8 of an inch at a time in any direction. If you're still in your wide-legged fold, deep belly breaths there. We'll spend a few more breaths wherever you're at. If you need to back out, do so gently. If you did lower toward Kurmasana, begin to slowly slide your hands out so that you can press your palms down, sliding the heels back toward the body, bend the knees for a moment. Good. And then we'll all bring the legs straight forward. Take a moment to wiggle it out, feeling that release through the backs of the thighs and glutes. And then find your nice tall seat here. We're moving toward the back, but we'll do so with core control. Legs together, point the toes strongly, soles of the feet drawing down, arms reach forward. Take an inhale here. Exhale, chin to chest. Look at the navel, reach toward the feet as you slowly lower. So you can take as little or much time as you like, moving to the back. It's okay if one or both feet start to pop up. We're working to divide this movement into lower back touching first, then middle back, then upper back. Option to hold if you're still lifted, gaze toward the feet, fingers reaching toward the feet. And if you're still lifted, one more inhale. Exhale, release to the back, flip the palms up. And then plant the feet wide, toes out, heels in. You can even bring your feet wider than mat's distance apart. With toes turned out, start to let the knees rotate to the left, through center, to the right. Finding some windshield wiper motions, feeling a stretch through the quads here. If you're not feeling this in the quads, you can slide both heels closer to the body. Use these moments to slow down your breath. It's that time in the practice where we begin to let go of some of that inner heat we cultivated. Start to bring dharana, our mental focus, back to the breath. Dharana is one of the 8 limbs in yoga that we practice every time we come to our mats. But as we move toward relative stillness, letting the mind release that focus and effort. The next time the knees come through center, stay here. And then lift the soles of the feet to the sky, finding happy baby, Ananda Balasana, catching outside the feet or outside the shins. So sometimes in this shape, our butt and lower back lift high off the mat. If you can, draw the lower back to the mat, really benefiting the body here in this pose. With the lower back to the mat, start to draw knees outside the armpits. If you have the space, you can catch inside the big toes, send both legs wide, just like we did in our seated shape. Drawing the outer glutes and hips down toward the mat. Always the option to stay in stillness or find movement. Deep inhales through the nose. And deep exhales through the nose. We're moving toward our Shavasana shape. If you're brand new to yoga, Shavasana is like sleep at the end of the day. Spend the next 10 or 15 rounds of your breath, taking any other movements that are calling to you. Finding any clothing or props you'd like to be comfortable and warm. No rush here, but when you're ready, reclining fully on the back, legs extended, arms alongside the body. Begin to actively count your breath in your mind. Notice that count. Maybe you're counting to 3, 4, or 5. See if you can expand it 1 or 2 counts more per inhale and per exhale. Counting the breath this way is a nice tool to help relax that mental concentration. Just becoming present in your own body and self as the breath moves in and out. If you did choose movement, make sure to balance out left and right sides. Begin to make your way to the back body. Always the option to slide a prop under the knees or on top of the hips. Anything to help you relax comfortably. As you settle in on the back, close down your eyes. Keep the mouth closed down. And begin to let go of that mental concentration on counting the breath. Now letting the breath become soft, shallow, unintentional. Allow those abdominal muscles to release and relax after the effort. Allow the back of the throat to release and relax. Invite yourself to spend a few moments here in quiet and stillness. Take one more inhale through the nose, open the mouth, sigh it out. And then close the mouth back down. No more effort to make. Simply spending a few moments here like this. Shavasana, corpse pose. Loka samasta sukhinho bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a slow, long inhale through the nose. Open the mouth. Slow, long exhale. 2 or 3 more like this at your own pace. As you feel ready, invite movement back to the fingers and toes. Gently roll the neck left and right, up and down. Take notice of any felt sensation that arose through your practice. And trust that the next time you come to your mat, you'll be able to begin again just as you are. When you're ready for more movement, find a full body stretch like you just woke up in the morning, arms reaching overhead. And eventually draw both knees to the chest. Roll to the right side. Spending a few moments here in this in-between shape as we prepare to bring head above heart. Eyes closed or gaze soft. When you're ready, press sideways to a seat. And we'll close our practice as we begin, sitting tall. If you took half lotus in the beginning, finding half lotus opposite way. Ground down through the hips and bring palms to heart center, Anjali Mudra. The light within me honors and respects the light within each of you. Thank you. Mil gracias. We bow and say a word. Namaste. Thank you, whether you join live or on YouTube, and there was definitely some kitty activity going on today, so apologies if that was loud, but the kitties were enjoying yoga too. Looking forward to practicing with you again soon.